welcome to an installment of Liberty Nation's Swamponomics videocast. I am Andrew Moran, Allen's economics correspondent. Each week, I dive into the morass of top economic news stories and fish out compelling narratives, or I retrieve fallacies that have been accepted as conventional wisdom by the swamp creatures for years. This week, you might as well face it, you're addicted to government. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the American people enjoyed a record surge in personal income, buoyed by President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion spending scheme. But when you dive deeper into the numbers, you learn that more Americans are reliant on the government than ever before. Personal current transfer payments, which are sources of government income like welfare checks and jobless benefits, skyrocketed to an annualized rate of $8.1 trillion in March. This is about $5 trillion above the pre-coronavirus trend. If personal income excluded government payments, the rate would be relatively unchanged from a year ago. As President Biden unveils more of his Bidenomics doctrine, it is clear that there is no going back. During his quasi-State of the Union address to lawmakers, Biden treated the American people to progressive prattle, filled with outlandish spending schemes and a few dozen misleading statements and false facts. From his $1.9 trillion stimulus and relief package in March to his two-part multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure plan, which goes way beyond roads and highways, the U.S. economy and the American people will become more dependent on Uncle Sam for handouts. And this will be on top of dependence on the Federal Reserve System. Funny enough, it is the federal government that needs its fix from the United States Central Bank. From what we know about Bidenomics, the next few years will be taxing, spending, borrowing, and printing. This is not a dirty little secret either, nor is the Democratic Party ashamed of this behavior. President Biden declared during a sleep-inducing speech that, quote, "We the people is government," arguing that not spending astronomical amounts of money will add to the nation's fiscal troubles, if that makes any sense. He said, quote, "This is not a plan that tinkers around the edges. It's a once-in-a-generation investment in America. Failing to make these investments adds to our debt and effectively puts our children at a disadvantage relative to our competitors. The divisions of the moment shouldn't stop us from doing the right thing for the future." And of course, shouldn't add it under pressure. Just kidding. Talk about gaslighting. So, what's next? The only thing that is left for President Biden and the Democrats is to champion a universal basic income, or UBI. But they, as well as the Republicans, are already planting the seeds with a guaranteed annual income for households with children. As Liberty Nation recently reported, Biden's COVID-19 bill included $300 per month per child through an enhanced child tax credit for 93% of families with children under 6 years of age. But Senator Mitt Romney has proposed the Family Security Act, a program that gives up to $4,200 per year for every child up to the age of 6 and $3,000 each year per child between 6 and 17. Senator Josh Hawley wants a parent tax credit that is essentially an annual tax cut of up to $12,000 a year. This would be all on top of the trillions the federal government already spends. It turns out that the American people wouldn't have it any other way. A recent survey found that 68% of Americans support Biden's trillions in new spending. Conrad Black recently opined that President Biden declared war on America with his speech, but if you believe this supposition, it might have been the American people who have fired the first shot. That's it for me this week. Please read my full Swamponomics column where I discuss the April Federal Open Market Committee meeting, food price inflation, and billionaire wealth during the pandemic. Thank you.
Who are we? We are Americans that believe in liberty. We are a project of the nonprofit One Generation Away. We are patriots who apply the founding principles to the issues of today.
And they keep moving the goalposts on us.
We are educators and commentators who love America and the Constitution. Who are we? We are Liberty Nation.